Every week, I see another YouTube video saying AI has completely changed dropshipping. Apparently, AI finds your product, builds your store, writes your copy, even creates your ads. And according to some people, making money has never been easier. But if that's actually true, why do most beginners still fail? Because after researching dozens of successful dropshipping stores, one thing became really obvious. It isn't the AI making money, it's the person using it. Think about it like Formula 1. You could put me in the same exact car as Max Verstappen, but I'm still gonna be finishing last. Not because the car is bad, but because I have no idea what I'm doing. AI works exactly the same way. Give two people the exact same tools, one builds a business, the other wastes $50. So instead of asking, what AI tool makes the most money? I think the better question is, if I had to start AI dropshipping today with only $50, what would I do? Not the guru version, not the complicated version, just the process I'd recommend to someone starting from absolutely zero. Before we talk about products, let's quickly talk about how dropshipping actually works, because I think people massively overcomplicate it. Imagine your friend wants a water blaster. They buy it from your website for $30. Then you buy the exact same product from a supplier for only $10. Enter your customer's shipping address and the supplier ships it directly to them. You never touch the product, you don't own a warehouse, you don't have boxes stacked in your bedroom, you're basically the middleman. But here's the part YouTube rarely explains. If you sell something for $30, that doesn't mean you made $20. Because before you can sell anything, you first have to convince somebody your product even exists. And that's what advertising is. Imagine opening the world's greatest restaurant in the middle of the desert. The food could be incredible, but if nobody knows it exists, nobody's eating there. Your website works exactly the same way. The store is the restaurant, and meta ads are the road leading people to it. Without traffic, nothing happens. Personally, I would never test a product that I couldn't comfortably sell for at least 2 to 3 times what I paid. Because if you only make $5 before advertising, there's almost no room to make mistakes. Now here's something I wish somebody told me much earlier. Most beginners think they're looking for winning products. I actually don't think they are. I think they're trying to avoid losing products. And there's a huge difference. Imagine somebody dumped 1,000 products on your desk. Your job isn't to find one magical winner. Your job is eliminating the 990 products nobody cares about. That's what product research actually is. Saying no over and over until it finally gives you the reason to say yes. Because here's the truth. You have no idea what people want, neither do I, and neither does AI. The market decides that, not us. That's why I wouldn't ask myself, would I buy this product? Because honestly, I'm a terrible customer. I already know how the product works, I know what it costs, I know how it was marketed. Real customers don't. Instead, I would ask myself one question. If somebody saw this while scrolling TikTok, would they stop? Because if you can't earn 2 seconds of attention, you're probably not earning somebody's money either. Nobody buys a posture corrector because they love wearing straps. They buy confidence. Nobody buys an air fryer because they're obsessed with hot air. They buy quicker dinners. You have to think about it like this. The product is just the excuse. The emotion is what people actually pay for. And once you start thinking like that, finding products becomes much easier. So now the question becomes, how do you actually find products with that kind of potential? That's where I'd start using AI. So, how do you actually find products people want? I think this is where most beginners waste the most time. They open AliExpress, scroll through hundreds of random gadgets, see something that looks cool, and convince themselves they found the next $1,000,000 product. The problem is, after staring at products for 2 hours, everything starts looking like a winning product. That's why I actually don't start with suppliers, I start with the market. Because suppliers don't tell you what people want, customers do. So don't guess and actually do your research. Think about opening a restaurant. You probably wouldn't pick a random meal, spend thousands opening a restaurant, then hope people like it. You would probably look at what's already popular first. Which restaurants are busy? What are people ordering? Why do customers keep coming back? Dropshipping should be exactly the same. Before I even think about building a store, I want proof that people are already buying the product. Not because I want to copy someone else, but because I rather start with evidence rather than hope. This is actually the part where I would use Shopify the most. Not because it magically tells you what to sell, but because it lets you research what's already working. Instead of spending hours jumping between different websites, you can look at existing stores, see products that are already being advertised, check estimated traffic, look at competitor stores, and start understanding why those stores are working. One feature I found especially useful is being able to analyze existing stores, because honestly, that's probably one of the fastest ways to learn. If you find a store that's clearly doing something right, why wouldn't you study it? Every successful store leaves clues. Think about it as learning basketball. You wouldn't ignore the NBA and invent your own techniques. You'd watch the best players first, not to copy every move, but to understand why they're successful. Business works exactly the same way. The fastest way to improve isn't making everything from scratch. It's understanding what already works, then putting your own spin on it. That's why I think competitor research is massively underrated. Most beginners are obsessed with finding secret products. I'd rather understand why existing products sell, because those lessons apply to every store you build. Once I find a product, I ask myself 5 questions. First, can somebody understand this product in 3 seconds? If I need a 1 minute explanation, it's probably too complicated. Remember, you're interrupting someone scrolling social media. You don't have their attention, you have to earn it. Second, does it make somebody feel something? Does it solve a problem, make life easier, look satisfying, save time? Or is it just another boring gadget? Because boring products usually create boring ads. Third, can I actually make money selling it? If the product costs $15, and everyone's selling it for 20, you should move on. Not because it's a bad product, but because the numbers don't make sense. Fourth, can somebody buy this on impulse? Think about the difference between buying a chewing gum and buying a car. One decision takes 5 seconds, the other takes 5 months. Most dropshipping products sit much closer to the chewing gum side. That's exactly where you want them. And finally, can I find proof people actually care? This is where I validate everything. I check TikTok, I check ads library, and I check AliExpress. TikTok tells me whether people stop scrolling. Ads library tells me whether businesses are actively spending money. AliExpress tells me whether customers are actually buying. Those three together tell me far more than my opinion ever could. After researching maybe 15 or 20 ideas, I usually don't end up with 15 products. I end up with 2 or 3. And honestly, that's exactly what I want. Because now I'm not trying to guess. Every product has already passed my filters. Now it's simply about choosing the one with the best combination of demand, margins, shipping, competition, and ad potential. Once I've made that decision, only then do I start thinking about building the store. Because there's no point designing a beautiful website for a product nobody wants. Once you picked your product, now it's time to build a store. I think this is where most beginners overly complicate things. They spend hours picking fonts, changing colors, testing different themes, adding animations, moving buttons 3 pixels to the left, when none of these things are the reason people buy. Think about the last thing you bought online. Did you buy it because the website looked expensive? Probably not. You bought it because you wanted the product, and the website gave you enough confidence to spend your money. That's literally your store's job. Not to impress people, but to remove doubt. Those are two completely different things. I like thinking about a Shopify store like a salesperson. Imagine walking into two different electronics stores. The first employee walks over to you and says, "Hi, let me know if you need anything." The second employee starts shouting at you to buy this and that. Which one are you most likely to trust? Exactly. A good product page feels like the first employee. It quietly answers your questions, it doesn't beg you to buy, it simply gives you confidence. That's exactly what your website should do. Now here's something I probably wouldn't have said a few years ago. I don't think beginners should build stores completely from scratch anymore. Not because they can't, but because it doesn't teach you the right lessons. Personally, I'd rather start with something that's already structured properly, and then improve it. This is another place where I'd use Shopify. Once you've chosen a product, it can generate an entire Shopify store in only a few seconds. Now, would I leave it exactly like that? Definitely not. Because if everyone clicks one button and publishes the exact same store, nobody stands out. I'd use it as a starting point, not the finished product. Think of it like buying a furnished apartment. The hard work is already done. Now you're just making it feel like your own. That saves a ridiculous amount of time compared to staring at a blank Shopify page, wondering where to even begin. Now here's something I think every beginner gets wrong. They try to make their stores look premium. I think instead, they should focus on making it look believable. There's a big difference. Luxury brands can get away with being minimal. Nobody questions Apple, nobody questions Nike. People already trust them. Your brand doesn't have that advantage. You're asking somebody who's never heard of you to type their car details into a website they found from an Instagram ad. So your job isn't looking luxurious. It's making people think, yeah, this looks legitimate. When somebody lands on your website, they're usually trying to answer 5 questions. What is this? Why should I care? Can I trust you? How long will the shipping take? And what happens if something goes wrong? That's basically it. Everything on your page should answer one of those questions. Your website just needs clarity. This is also where AI becomes really useful. You can use ChatGPT to write product descriptions, FAQs, guarantees, shipping policies, pretty much everything. But don't just copy and paste the first thing it gives you, because AI still has one big problem. It sounds like AI. AI should save your time, not replace your personality. Before you spend $1 on ads, ask yourself one question. If somebody visited my website right now, would I trust it? Because if your honest answer is no, running ads won't fix that. Ads bring people to your store, but they don't fix a bad store. Once you got a website people can actually trust, now it's time to get people there. And that's where meta ads come in play. The first thing beginners usually do is search best targeting for dropshipping, and then they spend 3 hours choosing interests. Meanwhile, they spend only about 5 minutes making the actual advertisement. I think that's backwards. Think of it like this. Imagine opening a restaurant. Would you spend 3 hours deciding where to build it and only 5 minutes deciding what food to serve? Of course not. The food is what people actually care about. Your ad is the same. The creative is the meal. Meta just delivers it. Think about your TikTok feed, or Instagram Reels, or even YouTube Shorts. Have you ever watched one video about cooking, then suddenly your entire feed becomes recipes? The app isn't reading your mind. It's watching what you stopped scrolling for. Meta works very similarly. If people see your ad, watch it, click it, Meta starts thinking. People seem actually interested, so it shows it to more people with similar behavior. If everybody scrolls straight past, Meta will just assume that your ad isn't interesting. That's why I think beginners obsess over the wrong thing. Your creative is usually far more important than finding the perfect audience. What I would actually do, if I only had $50, I'd keep things very simple. One campaign, one country, probably the United States, broad targeting, and 2 or 3 different ad creatives. Not because broad targeting is some magic trick, but because with such a small budget, I'd rather spend my time testing different ideas than endlessly tweaking audiences. Now this is one area where I wouldn't rely on just one tool. I would use ChatGPT to help brainstorm hooks and angles. If Shopify has already generated product images, those can be a useful asset. Then I would take everything into CapCut and turn it into short video ads. Why videos, you may ask? Because people buy what they can imagine themselves using. A video does that much better than a single image. Now here's another mistake I see all the time. People launch their ads, refresh Shopify every 5 minutes, see 0 sales, and immediately think this product is dead. And that's not necessarily true. Instead, look at the data. Did people watch the ad? Did they click? Did they stay on the website? Did they add the product to their cart? Because every step tells you where the problem is. Imagine owning a physical shop. If nobody walks through the front door, the problem isn't the checkout, it's getting people inside. But if the shop is full and nobody buys anything, now you got a completely different problem. Online stores work exactly the same way. The numbers tell a story, you just have to learn how to read them. And finally, I think the biggest reason people fail has nothing to do with AI or Shopify, or even Meta. It's expectations. People think they're one product away from changing their life. Business rarely works like that. Imagine going to the gym once, looking in the mirror, and saying, well, that didn't work. Sounds completely insane. But that's exactly what people do with online businesses. They get one bad product and they say, I'm quitting. They get one bad ad and they say dropshipping is dead. The people who eventually succeed usually aren't the smartest. They're the ones who keep improving. A better product, a better offer, a better ad, a better product page. Small improvements repeated over and over. That's what builds a business. If I had to start AI dropshipping today with just $50, this is the exact process I would follow. Research products properly, study successful stores, build a simple store people trust, create ads people actually want to watch, and improve based on data instead of guessing. AI can save you hours on research, store building, and repetitive tasks. That's a huge advantage. But tools don't build businesses, people do. Most people watching this video will probably close YouTube and tell themselves they'll start next week. But somebody watching is actually going to launch a store, make mistakes, learn, improve, and 6 months from now, they'll know more than someone who spent those same 6 months just watching tutorials. Because in business, you don't get rewarded for knowing, you get rewarded for doing.